We start our story at a school where someone is threatening our protagonist saying, "Hey you, do you want to die? How dare you talk to me like that? I'm Zahanbin, and whatever I want comes to me. You have two options, either you pay with your power points or I'll invade your kingdom and destroy the heart of your realm." Of course, this Zahanbin leads a gang of bullies at the school and he has a kingdom with 5,000 monsters. Our protagonist Ano says, "I don't have any power points. All I have is my life and I want to see you try and come take it." Honestly, our protagonist's life isn't that great. His family disappeared into a starry sea and his kingdom is basically an army of locusts, which are considered the weakest monsters. And all the rich students at school bully him, like a girl who offers to make him her servant and bring food for the Thunderbird in her kingdom so she can protect him at school. Or like Zahanbin, who demanded his power points or else he would invade with his army and destroy his kingdom and his future. And of course, if your kingdom at school has weak monsters, you could lose in elections or competitions. Your future is ruined, you become a nobody in society and you can't get into university. We see Hano the day before his confrontation with Zahanbin at school entering the simulation device to access his kingdom. He says, "The most important thing is that I can get rid of that cunning guy. I won't hand myself over to him that easily. I have to resist." Our hero enters his kingdom and we see him flying in the air above the kingdom. We see the locusts in the grass looking at King Hano, and the game system screen appears, showing his name, his level, which is first taste, his rank in the game, his chosen talent, and his abilities. Accelerated growth and sacrifice. The center level is 1 and the monsters are locusts, 8,000 adults and 20 million eggs. Our hero is surprised and says chosen and sacrifice are new things. He opens the explanation and we learn that the chosen talent gives him a new perk every time he levels up. And sacrifice allows him to sacrifice the creatures he has in exchange for getting random things of equal value in their place. Hano says maybe these are because of the golden finger I brought with me. That's good, but first I have to deal with the problem of Janbin. Hano opens up the information on the locusts. He connects the information he read about the new perks with the information about the locusts. He says, shocked, this is going to be a big gamble. If I win, I'll be the master, and if I lose, I'll lose everything. We go back to the next day and see the girl standing in the classroom saying to our hero, "So, Hano, have you decided to become my servant? I promise you, until you graduate from school, no one will be able to bully you." Hano tells her, "No, I don't want to." She asks him, "Why? Do you even know what you're saying? These people will torment you until you die without my protection." He tells her, "Maybe things aren't as good as you say, but I still don't want to. Maybe I'm not strong or desirable, but I have my dignity. Thank you for offering to protect me, but if you don't have anything else, I'd appreciate it if you left." She tells him as she's leaving, "You'll regret what you just said." Then Janbin arrives with his gang and says, "Did you bring the 100 power points I told you about?" One of the gang members says, "Come on, hand them over quickly, don't waste our time." Janbin says, "Hand them over or I'll destroy your kingdom and your future will be ruined." Janbin puts his hand on our hero's shoulder. Our hero responds and says, "Hey, don't touch me." Janbin says to him, "How dare you talk to me like that? Hand over the points or I'll destroy you." Han responds coldly, "Try it if you can." Janbin thinks to himself, how is this guy talking to me like that? Could it be that someone is backing him? Could it be Qin Shuang? Of course, guys, Qin Shuang is the girl who wants to enslave our hero. We see the students in the classroom cheering and one of them shouts, "Long live, long live. Come on, get into a battle already. We want to see how the heart of the kingdom gets destroyed." Another one says, "The Locust Army has really ruined our class's reputation." Zhang finished them off. The first one says, "I heard that the dwarf army under Zhang is ranked among the top 60 in the school. I want to see it with my own eyes." Zhang is holding a card in his hand, channeling mana energy from it and says, "Hanu, you're the one who wants to die. Don't blame me, I gave you the chance." And we learn that this card is called an invasion card, which opens a gate between the invading kingdom and the kingdom being invaded. We see Hanu entering the simulation for his kingdom. And as soon as he arrives at his kingdom, he finds a massive gate in front of him. The gate opens and an army of dwarves emerges from it. Above the gate, Zhang Bin appears, enormous in size and surrounded by an aura. He says, "In the name of the Dwarf King Dwarf Army, I want you to wipe out the Locust Army and destroy the heart of the kingdom." The army lets out a battle cry and the students are watching the battle in the classroom. One of them says, "Look, Zhang Bin's army is made up of elite dwarves. It's over, guys. Hanu is finished." And the moment Zhang Bin's army enters Hanu's kingdom, our hero commands, "Exploding locusts, attack!" The students are shocked by the red locusts. One of them says, "Those are exploding locusts. How did he get so many of them?" The one next to him replies, "Even if they're elite locusts and there are a lot of them, they won't be like Zhang Bin's regular dwarves. Trash will always be trash." As the two armies clash, the explosions begin. And now we'll go back to yesterday to see what's the story behind these exploding locusts. Hanu had decided to sacrifice 2.5 billion locusts, and he only kept 100 million with him. 3 options appeared on the screen in front of him. The first was 100,000 elite mountain locusts, but only for one day. The second was the Fountain of Life, which improves the environment in the kingdom. And the third option was a 1-level tool, an explosive monster heart that gets added to the heart of the kingdom. And of course, our hero chose the third option. We go back to the battle and see Hanu throwing the locusts at the dwarves. He says to himself, one won't kill a dwarf, so let's throw more. And we see the smoke covering the screen. Little by little, the battlefield starts to appear, and we see the dwarves lying dead on the ground. And there's an elite dwarf who's injured but still standing. The red locusts are flying around our hero, and Chen is enjoying it. She says, looks like the battle just got intense. And we see the locusts attacking the dwarf. Zhang Bin shouts at the dwarves who are still alive, hurry back to the kingdom. Hanu says, you want to go back now? You won't make it in time. Locust army, enter the gate and invade Zhang Bin's kingdom. And we see the locusts entering the gate and the explosions begin. Zhang Bin screams saying, quickly order your monsters to leave my kingdom. I surrender. I've lost. Withdraw the locusts from the kingdom and let my monsters return. Hanu responds to him coldly. Weren't you the one who wanted to destroy the heart of my kingdom? I'm going to do the same and destroy the heart of your kingdom. Zhang tells him, don't you dare do it. If you do it, my father and mother won't let you get away with it. My father is a prince, and my mother will be a princess. You won't be able to stand against them. Hanu says, destroy the heart of the kingdom, no matter the cost. We see the locusts attacking the heart of the kingdom. Zhang starts crying and says, stop, please. I've lost. Let me go. I won't destroy you again. Any condition you set, I'll agree to it. Just stop, please. Hanu tells him, I don't want anything from you. I just want the heart of your kingdom to be destroyed, that's all. Then a voice from behind our hero says, Hanu, stop the attack. And that voice belongs to Mr. Liu, the class teacher. He continues, stop, you've already beaten him. Why do you want to destroy the heart of his kingdom? And Zhang Ping, crying, says, Master Liu, stop that madman. My family? And before he could finish his words, we see the locusts starting to destroy the heart of his kingdom. Zhang Ping screams, saying, no, please, Master Liu, help me. Liu says, Hanu, didn't you hear? What did I tell you? Hanu says to him, Master Liu, I have a question for you. Why are you here? Liu replies, I'm the class teacher. I can know everything that happens in the classroom. Hanu says to him, okay, let me ask you another question. When Zhang Ping was hitting me, bullying me, and blackmailing me, why didn't you show up? Liu says to himself. Why? Do you have a family like Amra's family? If I helped you against him, he'd get angry at me. Hanu says to him, stop what you're doing and I'll explain to you. Hanu says to him, one last question, sir. If my kingdom were facing destruction and Zhang were winning, would you have shown up and stood by my side? And here, Mr. Liu doesn't know how to answer him, and Hanu continues saying, I know the answer. Boom! The heart of Zhang's kingdom is destroyed, and Zhang screams, no, my kingdom. Hanu says, Mr. Liu, if you please, leave my kingdom. He just ends the battle in the chapter. We see Zhang Bing sitting on the ground crying, saying, I'm finished. I'm really finished. Liu enters the classroom and yells, Hanu, get out! Where is he? One of the students tells him, he must have gone home by now. He replies angrily, that kid needs to be expelled from school. Then we go to our hero's kingdom, and Hanu says, open the stats. There are 18,000 explosive locusts left and about 4 million regular ones. Hanu says, I need to breed more explosive locusts. Then Baidu's gem appears, and he says, these pieces are from Zhang's kingdom. I can merge them with my own. And he merges it with the heart of the kingdom. We see on the system screen that the kingdom's area increased by 160 kilometers, making it 260. It's made up of plains, mountains, deserts, and mines, and the heart's level. The kingdom is now level 2, and he gained a dwarf's hammer and 820 iron tools. Our hero says that was a good haul. These things will only be useful to me until I graduate. He remembers what Zhang said about his father being a prince and that he would come to destroy his kingdom. And he says, Han, this isn't over yet. If Zhang's family comes and finds out what happened, the school won't protect me. It was clear from Professor Liu's reaction that I need to prepare for this situation. He presses the buttons to sell the hammer and the equipment and says, what? Someone's going to buy them this quickly. Is someone really going to buy them this fast? We see a message saying the other party is requesting to trade for a lava fire crystal, 1 piece. Han says, from what I know, lava fire crystals increase monsters' resistance to fire and boost the power of explosions. And he accepts the trade. A gem appears, radiating mana. Information about the locust appears, showing it's an elite with self-detonation using magma. Han tries out one of them. A huge explosion occurs. He says, this explosion is like a bomb, and the magma will cause even more damage after the explosion. Nice. The locusts have become bombs now. Now we move to the teacher's office. Abu Zhang is there, speaking loudly. The heart of my son's kingdom was destroyed, and we won't be able to make it again. Shouldn't the school explain to us what happened? The principal says, what I know is that a battle took place, and your son is the one who started this whole thing. In fact, we have reports about your son being a bully. Abu Zhang gets angry and says, what? Are you saying my son is the reason? and that you have nothing to do with what happened. Why are you here then? Aren't you responsible for anything or what? Mrs. Zhang says, the student who destroyed my son's kingdom must be punished. You have to expel him. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Hanwu, we see our hero accelerating the growth of the explosive locusts and increasing their numbers. He gets a call from Principal Shu and says to himself, looks like things have started. The principal answers and says, Student Hanwu, there's something I want to tell you. Recently, Zhang Bin's family came to school. Now we see their meeting with the principal. The principal says, we investigated the incident. Zhang attacked Hanwu first and Hanwu won fairly. That's why there's no reason for us to expel him. Zhang's mother says, so you're protecting students who destroy the heart of their classmates' kingdom. The principal says, let's not mix up the issues. Student Hanwu is disciplined and respectful. But we also have many reports about your son bullying his classmates in class. Zhang's mother says, let's not talk nonsense. Are you going to expel this student or not? The principal replies, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Zhang's father says, you are the principal. I understand that the school won't punish this student. But as Zhang's guardian, I have a request after what happened. We return to the call and the principal says to Hanwu, Zhang's father will send an army of 1,000 soldiers to invade your kingdom. Regardless of the outcome, they won't do anything after that. That's all the school can help you with. But be careful of Zhang's father's army because its strength is equal to 50,000 fighters. Will you be able to handle it? Hanwu says to her, thank you, principal, for your help. He says, I'm coming to school tomorrow for him, then hangs up and says, looks like there's no time. I have to improve quickly. I have to make the second sacrifice immediately. And our hero sacrifices the jaws and 3 options appear. The first one is a level 1 item, the Bloody Devil's Eye. The second option is a crystal, a level 1 skill, Fireball, and the third is Janti, a heroic living being from the Jianfeng tribe. After that, Hanwu says, looks like sacrificing 4.5 billion jaws was worth it. He chooses the third option, and a giant man with 4 eyes and glowing pupils appears. His information shows his name, heroic level, and talents like Sword Wind, as well as skills such as Storm Strike, Iron Cutting Technique, and others at various levels. Janti says, my Lord King, I need a sword. Hanwu replies, alright, no problem. Hanwu enters the equipment shop and learns that the equipment is divided into 4 levels, normal, intermediate, special, and high. Hanwu buys the storm sword from the high-level equipment for 50 power points. He gives the sword to Zhan, who tries it out and says, my Lord King, I still need 3 more swords so I can use the highest level of my power. Hanwu thinks to himself, 3 swords would cost 450 power points. Does he think I just find these points lying around on the street or what? But tomorrow's task won't be easy. That's 1,000 soldiers from the prince's army. I have to handle this properly. Let me give it a try. I have nothing to lose. Now we move to the Qin kingdom. Thunderbirds are flying around her as she sits there deep in thought. She remembers when she was little and fell into the river and how Hanwu saved her. She opens her eyes and says, Hanwu is an idiot. He's going to get himself killed. My grandfather is the king, and there are 23 princes in our family. Does he think I can't protect him? Suddenly, she gets a call from Hanwu. She answers and says, what, did you change your mind and decide to be my servant? Hanwu says, what? No, I just wanted to borrow some of your power points. She says to him, Chen, so what are you going to give me in return? Don't think that just because you beat Zhang, you're suddenly some big shot. Your explosive anger is worthless. Hanwu says to her, alright, sorry if I bothered you. Bye. He hangs up and Chen is shocked and says, what nonsense did I just say? I didn't mean anything by it. He'll definitely misunderstand me.